If you are somebody that has a hard time staying honest, and by staying honest, I'm talking about if you're somebody that uses food as a crutch, uses food as comfort, uses food to alleviate stress, uses food to forget, and then pretends like nothing happened after that. You might be using food in a bad way, in an unhealthy way, in a way that you might not even realize. So when I talk about being accountable and sharing the good with the bad, I want you to understand that what I'm asking from you is to just show up. Because those bad days, those days that you're struggling, those days that you're having a hard time, those are those moments that you need to learn, that you need to grow. 676 days of imperfect consistency. Has it been just a perfect run from the very beginning? Absolutely not. When I talk about the good and the bad, the reason that I'm 676 days in is because I don't want to start over anymore. I don't want to say, welcome to day one. Now I'm going to start. Now I'm going to restart. Now I'm going to wait until Monday. Maybe I'll just start on Monday. What do you mean by that? Do you mean that you're just going to throw away the rest of the weekend? If the pushback on that is, oh man, I wish I could just enjoy this weekend and not think about, no one's saying that you can't have a good weekend. Nobody's saying that you can't enjoy yourself for the weekend. What I'm asking is that you still show up for yourself, that you're still mindful in what you're doing, that you still are going to be accountable no matter what. Doesn't mean you can't enjoy yourself. Doesn't mean that you can't eat what you want, drink what you want. But if you're somebody that completely forgets, completely throws the day away, that's where we need these things to change. And throughout this time, having rounds of ADF, having some longer fasts, some shorter fasts, having days where I'll eat 5, 6, 7,000 calories, 7 days of going on vacation. Where has that put me? Still down on the scale, still continuing to lose weight on the scale. It doesn't mean it's just gone down the entire time. There have been some bumps in the road, but every day I continue to show up. Every day I continue to learn about myself and what I do. That's my hope for you. This is how you build your fasting muscle. You've probably heard me say this before. Building your fasting muscle requires you to show up. Building your fasting muscle requires you to be mindful about when you're fasting and when you're feasting. If you're not hitting a timer, maybe that's what you need to do. When I talk about hitting a timer, I'm just saying be mindful of when you're fasting, and then be very mindful of when it's time to eat. Doing those things, even something as simple as hitting a button on your phone or recording the time when you swallowed your first bite of food or swallowed your last bite of food, something like that can put awareness where you haven't thought about it before. Because let's put it like this. How many of you are in here and you decided you were going to do, let's say, a 90-hour fast? Let's say 18 hours into that 90-hour fast, you're like, I can't do this anymore. I don't want to do this. I'm going to eat instead. But as you take that first bite, breaking at 18 hours, how many of you didn't even open your fasting app and said, well, it wasn't the 90, so let's just forget this ever happened. I don't want to think about it. I'm just going to worry about it on Monday. And then on Monday, you open up your app and then it shows something like 100 something hours or 150 hours. And maybe you laugh at it, maybe you smirk at it, and you're like, okay, I'll hit it now. What you could have done is you could have still hit your timer at 18 hours. But Jerome, I don't want to hit my timer at 18 hours. What's the point of doing that? That's all or nothing thinking. You're not giving yourself credit to fasting for a shorter period of time and then controlling how you eat. But Jerome, I don't want to control how I eat. Well, that's on you. And if you're going to throw away the entire day and the entire weekend and the entire week and the entire month, that's on you. How hard is it to hit a button on your phone? I get it. Sometimes it's easier to forget. Sometimes it's easier to ignore. Sometimes it's easier to say, I'll just wait on Monday. But if you do this on a regular basis, if this is the definition of you, starting over, waiting till Monday, waiting until whatever, vacation ends, your birthday finishes, how long are you going to do this shit for? Is this just going to be a cycle for the rest of your life? Or can you get out of this cycle? How many of you are stuck in this cycle? How many of you can say that you're 100 plus days into your journey? How many of you can say you're 1+ year into your journey? No more starting over. That's what I'm hoping for. I would love for people to rack up the days and be like, I'm just pushing on. I'm just continuing on. Yeah, there are ups and downs throughout my journey, but for the most part, it's continued to trend down. Or I've been able to keep my weight in check. You'll get better at this if you show up. You will build your fasting muscle if you show up. You will gain all of this experience if you give yourself the chance, the opportunity to accept imperfection, to accept the fact that you are going to have some bad days. I want to continue to be an example of what good days and bad days look like. You've already seen it. You've already seen days where I overeat, where I go a little overboard on my refeeds, where I don't get my steps in every day. Maybe what I'm trying to do is rewire your brain so that you start to develop better, healthy habits, good, healthy habits that will last. We can do extreme things. We can fast for long periods of time. We can eat clean in very extreme ways. We can go hard at the gym, but are those healthy habits that will last? Or are those temporary solutions? I'm not saying that they're not worthwhile. I'm not saying that you can't achieve huge, amazing feats like that, but you still have to learn how to do the smaller things, the healthy habits that maybe aren't as glamorous, that don't provide results right away. Stacking those small wins up will provide success in probably ways that you haven't even realized yet, because you're rewiring your brain to tell yourself, I don't always have to go hard all the time. I'm still making progress doing what I'm doing. If even doing those small healthy habits can start rewiring your brain so that you don't throw away the day, wouldn't that be a huge win? Wouldn't that be something that you want to put under your belt and be like, yeah, I was able to do this. I was able to fight the urge to binge. I was able to get out and go for a 10-minute walk, and I haven't done that in a month. Some of you might think, well, a 10-minute walk is nothing. But for some people, just doing that, getting into that habit, that's just the start. That's just the beginning. That's rewiring your brain saying, hey, this wasn't so bad. Actually, when I'm out, it feels good. You know what? This morning when I went for a walk, it was beautiful outside. The sun was still coming up. It was like a pink sky. And as I was walking by the lake, I was like, man, these are these moments that I really enjoy. That's a peaceful, relaxing moment for me. And that's something I don't even question when I get up in the morning. I get up, I go to the bathroom, I step on the scale, I'm out the door. I'm going for my walk. I'm taking care of myself. I'm doing good, healthy habits for myself, right? Healthy habits that last. I'm 676 days into my journey. I've been walking the majority of that time. For almost 2 years, I get up every morning and I do this without question, without asking myself, should I do that? No, I just walk out the door. I'm done. I'm moving for the day.